All right, we are live. Hello, everybody. My name is Chris, and this is my channel, Bar911970. And as always, I want to thank you guys and gals for taking the time to listen to what I have to say. And I just want to give a quick update before we get into the major topic of this. As you can see on the right-hand side of the screen, the cat on the right, she's basically the reason why I haven't been able to been doing videos lately. We had to take her to the emergency vet last week, and then we just came back from their second visit from the initial problems to give a report. She is doing okay. And I also want to mention, and the link is in the description, I'm selling a couple of my silver coins, only like 5 of them. I mean, I have thousands, so... But and the auction ends today in 3 hours. Right now it's 5:21 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So in the next 3 hours, the auctions are all going to be complete. So I put a link to one of them if you want to check and anybody want to place any bids, because they're going to help pay for her hospital bills, because it came out to roughly about $2,000 when all said and done with the medication and everything else. So with that out of the way, I don't know how many of you are familiar with this at this point, and I'm not going to show any video clips because I find these days with YouTube and their censorship of, truth, if I post the video or even a link these days, they tend to block it, so I want to make sure that that doesn't happen. But what's going on is there is a video, and all you have to do is just search for it. I'm not going to post any links because, like I said, I don't want YouTube to have any excuse to block this, where they did a secret camera with a 15-year producer at CNN, and they show his face on camera, basically talking about the fact that there is no Russian scandal, that President Trump has every right to say it's a witch hunt, and basically saying they just make up stories because they like the views. And this comes no surprise to me, and probably a lot of people here. Now, with YouTube, they block this kind of information, but they can't block everything. I mean, I have almost 40,000 subscribers, and my average videos are under 1,000 views, which is less than 1% of my subscriber count gets to see my videos. And considering I gather about 2,000 new subscribers every month, there's no way that people, they're just subscribing and saying, oh, I'll never watch another one of his videos again, because if that's the case, they wouldn't even subscribe. So YouTube is doing its best to hide this stuff, which means they are part of the problem. Same thing with Facebook and all the other social medias. Now, the biggest thing that people are going to want to do is to go on CNN sites and basically troll them and harass them and attack them and all this stuff. And I can understand how you could get self-gratification out of that, but let me tell you, that's the opposite of what you want to do, because you're giving them the attention. And if you've ever seen, like, children, why sometimes they'll break things just to get your attention, or do bad things to get your attention, because sometimes some attention's better than no attention. So if you go to, for example, if you go on CNN's YouTube channel and you're like, haha, we caught you in fake news and you're a jerk and all these things, well, they have a thing called advertisement. Now, YouTube doesn't block channels like CNN, the Young Turks, all these ones that are promoting MSNBC, NBC, CBS, ABC, even Fox News. They allow them to say whatever they want. So they can make up stories and they'll promote it. Now, if you go there with the intention of trying to hurt them by commenting, every time you visit, they get a thing called AdSense, which means they make money. So in the end, they're using your emotions against you so they can profit off of you. So unfortunately, my channel is not going to reach thousands of people without your help. But the only way to eliminate these problems is to ignore them and let them go away. Because if you go to CNN's site and all these other fake news channels, and, at this point this shouldn't surprise many people, you're feeding them the income that they need to survive. I know that people are thinking, oh, well, I'm bashing them and everything. All you're doing is giving them free publicity and keeping them relevant. Now, what people should do is contact the president and say that we don't want these news channels interviewed by you anymore. If you don't believe in them and you truly think they're fake news, well, then why are they at the press secretary meetings every week or every month or every day? You know, why don't they have the National Enquirer then? They might as well. And why don't they have regular people? Like, why can't they pick YouTube channels? Because I'll tell you this much. You know, they do the Skype things with some of the other news channels during the press secretary briefings. I would love it if they actually went to YouTube channels and had an unscripted question asked to them, because I would love to ask a bunch of questions and see what kind of answers I would get back from them. We the people will make or break this world. The more we learn that we put our trust in the wrong people throughout the world, the more we have to come to understand that it is up to us to make change in the world. And if we don't do that, they're not going to make it better. Well, at least not for you and I. They're going to make it better for them. That's why you see there is a greater and greater gap between the extremely wealthy and the extremely poor. And if there was an even balance, then I could say, well, maybe they're doing something right. But you're seeing more and more people throughout the world just barely getting by. I mean, with the small amount of hospital bills that I've had to, and my wife has had to pay to help one of our stray cats that we've taken in, and I don't regret doing it, but it's left us with no money to do other things. And that's what this entrapment and enslavement throughout the world is all about. It's, if you want to eat well, if you want to have a great real education, if you want the best medicines and treatments, the best foods, you have to have lots of fiat currency, whether it's dollars or wands or rubles or euros or regardless. And if you don't have them, your likelihood of surviving diminishes. So the way they control the world is through the banking system that for some reason millions of people still participate in. And they are causing the demise of the society, because it angers me to know that, for example, we can only afford to do, they had to do some like EKG readings on her heart and her stomach. And we couldn't afford both because of all the thousands we had already spent. So we had to limit it to her heart, because obviously her heart's going to be more important. And they didn't find much. So what if it is in her stomach? It's because we couldn't have enough fiat currency to be able to spend on keeping an animal or a loved one in the best of health. So it's not about curing the world. It's not about helping mankind. It's about profiting where only the wealthy benefit. And that's why so many people just look the other way. But more and more people are becoming poor. And we have to stop listening to any of these news channels. And if like I've said in so many videos, and I've had to learn this myself recently because I had to take the break. I needed a little bit of a time off because there's just too much on my plate. And even the best of us are going to have to question things. But my videos are always talking about looking at what you can learn from the experiences. So what can we learn about this whole fake news situation? Well, what good we could take out of it is, first of all, it's waking up more and more people. More and more people are starting to see that the news is nothing more than entertainment. They're there for ratings. They're there to make money off of you. They're not there to talk about truth. They're there for propaganda and agendas. It's becoming abundantly clear at this point. But it's teaching us that if you really want to know the truth, which is a very hard thing to find these days, like they say, if you want something done right, you have to do it yourself. And if this gets more people to research, gets more people to question, then we should all be glad that places like CNN and MSNBC and all of these, and like I said, even Fox News, because they're no angels, but all these news medias, they're not about giving you the truth. They're giving their side of their truth or their belief systems, but they're all about ratings, which means they're all about money, which means they are giving up their integrity for the dollar sign. And that's why I'm not one of the bigger channels that has millions of viewers and, you know, millions of subscribers, is I'm not willing to do the fear porn and do what most people want to hear or create controversies to get thousands of people or millions of people to view. because it's all about money. And to me, if you live that way, eventually you're going to die that way. And to me, it's all about us speaking up. It's all about doing for ourselves. It's all about questioning authority. It's no longer sitting around. And it's all about the money or the fiat currency throughout the world. So governments love to make us hate one another. Countries hating other countries. And people in each country hating each other because of either their left wing or right wing, instead of being just human. They want to separate you into categories so they can easily split you into a divide and conquer to the point where every little thing you believe in is going to be challenged and insulted and attacked by someone else. And they keep you distracted while they steal your wealth. And look at how governments love to give welfare, which sounds like a great thing. But let me ask you this. How many people on welfare will ever fly in a Learjet or have a limousine service carry them to their next board meeting, or swim in some tropical island jacuzzi far within the mountains of some tropical island? So they're there to make you think their little bits and pieces of crumbs that they hand you is something that helps. Now, obviously, if you're starving to death and you can't get food to feed your kids, yeah, you're going to appreciate that stuff. And you're going to think, oh, they're so kind. But yet they're running around with millions of dollars in their pocket, with people like Hillary Clinton and many others who just slip their hand out and say, oh, you want a law passed or a law not passed? Just grease these palms and we'll give you everything that you want. And they create charitable places like the Clinton Foundation and use it as a front to make themselves wealthier. Well, if we stand by and just allow these things to happen and just ignore them because some other news event has come along to get you to be distracted, then we are to blame. So if you still have a bank account, you're helping the system. Federal credit, well, not even a federal credit union, a local credit union is the way to go. It's a better alternative. If you have hundreds of different credit cards, you're contributing to the problem. And it doesn't mean you're a bad person, because unfortunately these days, again, because it's due to the money, they get us so broke and having to have all these problems happen left and right that sometimes we have no choice. But the more debt you borrow, the more wealthy we make them. And we're seeing more and more that it's not just the government that lies, it's the media that lies. So if you watch and type in CNN caught lying, and you'll see the video that was posted last night about the CNN person that worked there for over 15 years admitting that the whole Russia thing is just made up and they do it for ratings. If that doesn't anger people, I don't know what else to say. Now, the last thing you want to do is go to their channels, because you're going to make them revenue. So they're going to love firing you up, getting you mad. So what are you going to do? Type a nasty word in a comment section that they can just block and give them free advertisement money that the YouTube will be glad to hand them, while channels like mine will make scrap because we speak the truth and we choose to do the right thing and not sell out our fellow man? That I care more about the health of a stray cat than some of this fake news that's out there. And I got an interesting story I'm going to tell you in another video. I might do it today regarding Luna, which is the cat in question that I had the problem with. But it's all about the dollar. It's all about the yen. It's all about the won. It's all about the ruble. It's all about the euro. It's all about the peso, the Canadian dollar. It's all about enslaving the people so the governments who are in control of every one of these nations can profit off of basically the laziness and the trustfulness of its citizens. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Well, they fool us every single day. How foolish are we for allowing it? And so many people will continue to allow it because they get a few tokens. More and more people are losing their homes. More and more people are not able to feed their families properly. More and more people are going to go to bed freezing to death. More and more people are dying because they couldn't afford what it costs to better themselves, their family, their friends, or any of their loved ones, including their animals. And if people are having a blind eye at that, and they want to hate me because I'm speaking the truth, that if we want to fix things, we got to get off our butts. We have to spread the message. We have to no longer feed the beast. This is why it doesn't change. So, like I said, right now I have 29 people watching. I have about 37,000 subscribers, and 29 people are watching. Now, obviously, I haven't made that many videos this week, but still, that's about the average view, and I appreciate those that are watching and those that are taking the time to comment. But YouTube is going to make sure that most of my subscribers have no clue I'm even making videos. I get that all the time. So, it's just frustrating. But I know I will succeed in the end no matter what. Because even with these thousands of dollars worth of bills that I had to acquire, and me and my wife have been dealing with our cats, it's worth it because it's placed in for love. I had to sacrifice a lot of what little social life I had left to do it, but I'd do it in a heartbeat, because to trade a couple of pieces of paper for an extra amount of time with an animal that I love, that's a no-brainer to me. So my priorities are not the almighty dollar. My priorities are my family. And if you worship the dollar, you got to question yourself. But unfortunately, countries do, and they use it to enslave the people. And if we do not make our parts, and we just sit there and just rally and say, yeah, that's great, and then, you go buy 600 things you don't need on Amazon or eBay with 17 different credit cards, then I don't know what to say. So check out that CNN video where they basically admit. Now, what will be funny, ironically, is we know that person will be fired, or they'll say they quit. I wonder if all of a sudden he's going to quote-unquote commit suicide, and they find him dead because of the things that slipped out. And yet CNN will still be allowed to air. Now, obviously, with freedom of speech, they're allowed to say whatever they want. But when it comes to a news organization, quote-unquote, aren't they liable and responsible for the information that they're trying to give other people? Like, if some troll wants to call me a jerk, that's fine. That's their opinion. But if they were trying to influence the world by giving scenarios that are just blatantly false to change a narrative, they should be held accountable and held responsible. So if this is just one of those, we'll make fun of CNN, and they still get away with it, and people still watch, and they still make millions of dollars, well, guess what? They're going to keep doing it. And then you have to wonder how many others are joining in. Because no one ever admits they do anything wrong until they get caught. Or they're on their deathbed. So, if you want to believe in a system that constantly lies, is constantly corrupt, who is constantly looking out for people of wealth, who will tell you everything that you want to hear and deliver nothing, and always come up with excuses, but make sure they do it in a fancy suit and tie, who will never directly answer a question, who are always doing things behind your back, well, keep putting your faith in those. And I'm talking about governments all over the world. How many years have people known about, with gold and silver, how they're manipulating the market? What's being done about it? You get all these big channels that talk about, the gold and silver manipulation. I'm talking about the ones who buy and sell gold. I'm talking about people like Mike Maloney and other channels like that. Well, where's the lawsuits? What are they doing about it? They keep selling you their products, so do they really care about it, or do you think they're taking advantage of it to fill their own pockets? Because where's the lawsuits? Where's the protests on that? You have to take charge if you want change. Otherwise, this is something that's just going to continue to go on. So, that's pretty much all I can say. So I'm going to do my best to try and make some videos. I'll make another video. I don't know if I'm going to do it today, but I'll talk about a situation with the cat and how I had to learn some lessons myself that brought some good. Keep working. Stop going to CNN and other channels, even if you're just there to promote hate. because all you're doing is giving them money. And speak up to YouTube. Have your voices heard about how you don't approve, how YouTube is blocking channels like mine and others and keeping the truth from being shown. Squeaky wheel gets the grease. So you got to do your part if you want positive change. If you don't, then there's no reason people should complain. So I wanted to give the update. My cat is doing fine. The auctions are closing in about 3 hours. So hopefully if somebody could purchase anything, like I said, I'm not asking for any donations for this because that's not what this channel's about. And that's why I'm selling a couple of my silver pieces. The link to one of them is in the description. So if you want to check it out, please do. If you could share it. I mean, because anything that I sell will help go towards paying the bills and everything. And it's just been a big strain. So thank you for anybody that does that. And just keep up the good fight, and I'll try the best that I can. So thanks for listening to the 30-plus people that are listening now. I appreciate it. I hope you will continue to do the right thing, and we'll end on this. Etherin Cruz says, who owns YouTube now? I don't know who owns them, but it's a guarantee it's some millionaire or billionaire corporate, Mongol that's there to make sure that everything gets silenced so they can continue to profit. So that's what it's all about. We somehow put up with it. I hope we change that. So thanks for listening. I hope you have a great day, and I look forward to your comments.